in Peter, you're going to have to either move to the side for me so I can see Diksha in the back, and then Hare Krishna, and then maybe Ben, you move to the right so I can see Parth in the back. Perfect. Because eye contact is very important. You're going to have to either move to the side for me. Yes. So when Hare Katha is spoken, actually it's a whole sensory engagement. The eyes, the ears, everything that you have, all your facilities, you should try to absorb Hare Katha. It's the first process of bhakti. Did you all see the new movie Mahavatar Narsimha? Yeah? Mahavatar Narsingha? It just came out. It's a huge success in India. And it's an animated film about the pastimes of Prahlad and Narsingha. So if you watch it, it's amazing. But one of the first teachings that the prime teachings that Prahlad gives to his father, Hiranyakashipu, are the 9 main processes of bhakti. I think, what is it? The Nava Yuga. What's that?
Navada Bhakti.
Navada Bhakti. So the 9 processes of bhakti. So the first 3 are the most important. And actually you can do the later ones when you get the first 3 down. But there's Shravanam, first hearing. You have to hear about the Supreme Lord. Then Kirtanam, which we're doing. We're chanting the Lord's glories. We're sharing the Lord's glories with others. Also speaking. This is an attempt at Kirtan that I'm doing right now. And then the last, by doing those first 2, you'll actually Smaranam, you'll remember. So if you're not doing any Shravanam, if you have no Bhagavad Shravanam happening in your life, no chance of any bhakti. Because it's the first process of bhakti. So really there's not very much things that a human being has to do except come and hear about the Lord. That's step 1. And then from there you can do so many activities. But if you haven't done any hearing about the Lord from any experienced devotees or bhaktas, you can't really get much bhakti. You cannot, we talked about this in the beginning. Aroha Pantha means all of the tools you can do on your own, you can do so many things, but you can't get bhakti on your own. That's impossible, actually. All of the work you can do, there's no bhakti with your own efforts. So any efforts you do on your own are useless, actually. And to get bhakti, the only thing you have to do is find a reservoir of bhakti, just like if you want to cook or if you want to clean, you need to find a reservoir of water, and then you use the grand gift of water given to you. So similarly, if you want bhakti, you have to utilize somehow or other the Lord has given bhakti to some of His saints and prophets and messiahs and devotees, and you find the devotees and you just sit under them and you let the bhakti come to you. So this is actually the number 1 most important thing that everyone does, is doing some Shravanam. Finding someone. We could do so many activities on our own. Oh, I'll read this scripture and I'll read that scripture and I'll chant this mantra and I'll chant that mantra and this, that, and the other thing. No bhakti can be attained this way. Not on your own. All you have to do, similarly, you could be very unskilled, untalented. You could maybe even be a baby. But if you go and find someone with profuse amounts of bhakti and you sit under them in the first process, if you hear from them, that's the most important thing. Just hearing from them, they can give you bhakti. And then from there you share. You can actually do kirtan, what you've heard from them. But if you have no shravan, you have no tendency to do any shravan, no listening in the life, oh, that's very unfortunate. This person is very unfortunate. But you all can have the opportunity to be very fortunate. We all do. All we have to do is recognize, like Prahlad Maharaj, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. If we know this teaching, then we say, oh, I'll do this. We've heard it before. Someone has graced us with this wisdom. Most of the world has not been graced with this wisdom. Most of India has been graced with the wisdom. But not all are following. Hopefully everyone can follow, but it's very difficult. In this material world, we are getting very distracted, and we're going to talk about that today. What are the distractions that are getting in the way of our self-interest? Did you ever do anything and you made a mistake, and by your own mistake you made a bigger problem than you did instead of just not doing that thing at all? Has that happened to anyone? You just made some mistake and you just created a huge problem. Now you have to expend so much effort getting rid of the problem. Yes, this is all of us in the material world. We're doing so many activities, and the activities are implicating us in karma and creating bigger problems than we ever could have imagined they would cause. And it would have just been better we never did that at all. But because we're so enwrapped in the illusion of thinking these things bring happiness, we chase, and then we create problem after problem. So this is the process. By this, a secondary thing that happens is you'll have no more problems. No more problems will be in your life. If bhakti actually comes, no more problem actually will be there. That's a symptom. And then also all auspiciousness, all good fortune comes too. Another symptom. Bhakti is coming, these things will be there. Shubdada and kleshagni. The fire of suffering will be extinguished, and the all auspicious good fortune will come. So if you've found that you have good luck in your life, and that there's nothing inauspicious, everything is very blessed in one's life, maybe some bhakti has come. Otherwise, bhakti has not yet come. So, if you're interested in these things, and these are secondary, the real gift of bhakti, of when bhakti is coming, is bhakti itself is joyous. Bhakti itself, being engaged in bhakti is what? It's love, it's devotion. It's devotional, and it's translated out as service. When you love somebody, you will render service to them. Just like when look, my son is looking at me. And
looking at the four of you.
Oh, maybe he's looking at all of me. Oh, yes. Sorry. You shouldn't all look at me in so many ways. So anyway, my son is looking at me, and I'm seeing that there's an element of love there. So I naturally want to serve him. Naturally. He's very cute. He's dependent on me, and I naturally have to serve him. So like this, anybody who looks upon us with love, we naturally, we want to serve them and they want to serve us. So this should be the relationship of the living entity to the Supreme Person, the Lord, God. Everyone knows of God. So we're going to get into this today, and Krishna is going to talk. These are all coming from the Bhagavad Gita. I can speak so many things on my own strength, but because my own strength, as I explained earlier, isn't very valuable, I'm going to offer some prayers to the Gurus from which who blessed us with this knowledge and have shared this knowledge, spent their lives being missionaries of the Lord's wisdom and sharing that with the whole world, the most merciful thing one can do. And so we'll offer our prayers unto them, and then we'll offer our prayers unto the Lords themselves, and ultimately then we'll offer our prayers unto each other. And all the great personalities involved in this process will offer our prayers. So without further ado, maybe Rishi, you can... we'll chant these prayers together. my voice is a little hoarse. Hi. So, we are going to read Bhagavad Gita. We will go to... Why does it keep sending me there? Chapter 2, verse 55 and 56 we'll do today. This is how to fix one's mind and what's really worth fixing one's. This is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 2 is still in the Karma Yoga and maybe Jnana Yoga process. But ultimately, the wise person, they understand this in relation to Bhakti, the graduate teaching. So, Arjuna said, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak and what is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk? And then Krishna says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yada Kama Sarvan Partha Manogatan Atmanyevatmana Tushta Sthita Pragyasta Dochyate Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yada Kama Sarvan Partha Manogatan Atmanyevatmana Tushta Sthita Pragyasta Dochyate. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Prajahati gives up, yada, when, kaman, desires for sense gratification, sarvan, of all varieties, partha, O son of Pritha, managatan, of mental concoction, atmani, in the pure state of the soul, eva, certainly, atmana, by the purified mind, tushta, satisfied, sthita pragya, transcendentally situated. It could also be understood, sthita pragya is fixed intelligence. Fixed intelligence. So tada, at that time, uchyate, is said. The Blessed Lord said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of sense desire, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure, transcendental consciousness. Wow. So when a man gives up all varieties of sense desire which arise from mental concoction. Hey, Hare Krishna. It's Archit, right?
Yes, sir.
Archit, welcome. And so when he gives up all varieties of sense desire which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure, transcendental consciousness. Purport. By His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Bhagavatam affirms that any person who is fully in Krishna consciousness or devotional service to the Lord has all the good qualities of the great sages, whereas a person who is not so transcendently situated has no good qualifications. This is the unfortunate circumstance, because he is sure to be taking refuge in his own mental concoctions. So basically what we're doing is we are being thrown around by our mind. In the Bhagavad Gita, it said the mind could be either one's best friend or one's worst enemy. But only one who has controlled the mind is the best friend. Otherwise, do you know what the mind is? Your worst enemy. Who here has controlled the mind? It's very difficult to control the mind. Very, very difficult. So guess what is our worst enemy? Our mind is our worst enemy, actually. So we're having all kinds of mental concoctions. Ooh, we should do this, and we should do this, and we should do this, and we should do this. But what is the mind telling one to do? Often. What's the uncontrolled mind want to do all the time? Enjoy the senses. Ooh, that'll taste good over here. Let me go eat that. ooh, that'll feel good over here. Let me go do that. Ooh, let me go see this. Oh, let me go do this. It's not just the working. We have the senses of seeing, smelling, tasting, hearing, touching. But then we have the working senses. Those are Gyanendriya senses, or the senses of measuring knowledge. But then there's the Karmendriya. We use the hands to do work. We use the legs to move. We use the mouth to speak and eat. We use the belly and the genitals to digest food and reproduce, and the back door for evacuating, and all these things. So all these things, we get these ideas. I want to work my senses like this. Oh, I want to test my senses over here. But actually, until our mind finds satisfaction in the self alone, actually we'll never be able to be happy, and we'll never be in this pure transcendental consciousness or this fixed intelligence. We'll never be fixed in intelligence. We'll always be an illusion. Because we think the things of this world, the senses, will make us happy. We think, oh, if I just had money, that would make me happy. I could have all the arrangements to make me happy. We think, oh, if I just had a romantic partner or a wife or children, this will make me happy. We think so many things, but actually none of these things can make us happy. It's only when we're fully fixed in the self alone that we have a chance to be happy. Actually, everything is already given for happiness. Happiness is a natural right to the living entity. But we look everywhere. Oh, maybe happiness is behind this, and we look, everywhere, trying to find happiness. But no, it's actually behind this. It's behind the body, behind your conception of yourself. That's where happiness really is lying. But we think, no. I know if I just find for a man, if I find a lady, or for a lady, if I find a man, that will bring happiness. Any married person will tell you that's not true. Any married person will say, no, you're wrong. Trust me. Also, many, many problems come in the dealings of man and woman. No problem. It can be done when two people are both fixed in transcendental consciousness. Me and my wife are attempting. After we looked for each other for happiness, and we found each other, and we thought we found happiness, we realized we didn't find happiness. But then what we ended up finding was that in bhakti, opportunities for happiness is actually there. Being in transcendental consciousness. So, a person who is fixed in devotional service, they actually have all the good qualities of the sages. But a person who is fixed in their own mental concoctions, oh, let me go here, they actually have no good qualities. So guess what? If our mind is our greatest enemy and we haven't controlled our mind, what does that mean about us?
We have no good qualities.
As of yet, we have no good qualities. As of yet, we have not actually developed good qualities. So what is good qualities? What type of person has good qualities? Yeah, one who is fixed towards service to the Lord. One who recognizes I exist, God exists, and that I should be of service to God. That is my best function. Then good qualities have already arisen. Someone has given you that gift. Someone revealed that Sambandha Jnana to you. Now you should act on it. We all have to act. Good morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. It's Lakshmi, right?
Yes.
Yes, Lakshmi, welcome.
Thank you.
We're reading Bhagavad Gita. So, we'll talk about how to cultivate good qualities. Because as of right now, Bhagavad Gita is saying we don't yet have any good qualities because we're not transcendentally situated. When transcendental situation happens, then good qualities can actually arise. Artificially such sense desires. Consequently, it is rightly said herein that one has to give up all kinds of sense desire manufactured by mental concoction. So anyone who's chasing, I just need the taste of my tongue for happiness. I just need the workings of my belly, my lower half, all these things. Anyone who's chasing things for happiness has not yet cultivated good qualities, Krishna is saying. How do we cultivate good qualities? We have to learn the transcendental situation. Who am I? Who is God? What is the relationship? What do I actually do? And then good qualities can arise. And then all those things you wanted anyway, very easily can come to you, and it's not an obstacle. The Lord will actually give them, no problem, because you'll know how to use them properly. So artificially, such sense desires cannot be stopped. So you can't just say, I'm stopping sense desires. I cannot I'm no longer eating. I'm no longer going to see anything. I'm no longer going. But what do we do? So Prabhupada is saying, but if one is engaged in Krishna consciousness or bhakti yoga, then automatically sense desires subside without extraneous efforts. Therefore, one has to engage himself in Krishna consciousness without hesitation, for this devotional service will instantly help one onto the platform of transcendental consciousness. The highly developed soul always remains satisfied in himself by realizing himself as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord. Such a transcendentally situated person has no sense desires resulting from petty materialism. Rather, he remains always happy in his natural position of eternally serving the Supreme Lord. So, the next verse will give us a little bit more clarity. Duke shvanudvigna manaha Sukeshu vigataspраha Vitaraga bhaya krodha Stitadir muni ruchyate. Yes, stitadi. We had before stita pragya, now stitadir muni. So one who is steady and as a steady-minded sage. One who is not disturbed in spite of the threefold miseries, who is not elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. So, any of us have any attachments in your life? Let's say some attachments. Anyone? List some attachments. He's a bubble blowing attachment of mine. My child, attachment. Who is attached to their family? Who is attached to their bank balance? Who is attached to their home? Who is attached to their job? Oh no. Oh no. We're so attached. Yes, this is a problem. Fear. Who is fearful of anything? Who is fear to lose all the things you're attached to? Who is fear to die? Yes, we are fearing so many things. Who gets angry? Anyone get angry? Every time you get angry in your life, unless you're like Hanuman and you're getting angry when someone is blaspheming your Lord or the devotees of the Lord, other than those two circumstances, your anger is in ignorance. And anger is actually a result of actually our unrefined, you could call them bad qualities. That is what our anger is a result of. So any attachment, fear, and anger is due to our own ignorance and due to our own unfortunate position. So what do? One who's free from that is called a sage of steady mind. So do you think it would be a good idea to become a sage of steady mind? What do you think? Yes? Becoming free from all these things? Alright, let's see how to do it. Purport. The word muni means one who can agitate his mind in various ways for mental speculation without coming to a factual conclusion. It is said that every muni has a different angle of vision, and unless a muni differs from other munis, he cannot be called a muni in the strict sense of the term. Naso munir yasya matang nabinam. But a sthita di muni, as mentioned herein by the Lord, is different from an ordinary muni. The sthita di muni is always in Krishna consciousness. They're always fixed on their true self. For he has exhausted all his business of creative speculation. He has surpassed the stage of mental speculations and has come to the conclusion that Lord Sri Krishna or Vasudeva is everything. He is called a muni fixed in mind. Nasty. Such a fully Krishna conscious person is not at all disturbed by the onslaughts of the threefold miseries, for he accepts all miseries as the mercy of the Lord. Do we do that? When miserable situations come, or we say, "Oh Lord, thank you for this mercy." Well, do you know why we don't do that? Yes, because we're not munis. We're not sthitadir munis. We're still fixed in ignorance. When something that we don't like happens, it's the mercy of the Lord if you have the right vision. But what's really happening instead is because we think we are God. We think, no, it should be how I say. Right? Do we not do that? Do we not impose our our perceptions of how things should be on the world. Everything should be like this, it should be like that. And when it's not like that, what happens? What? You get angry. That's why you get angry. No, it should be like this. Yes? Is that why you get angry? Yes. This is why we're getting angry. But actually, when a miserable situation comes, if we can see it, oh, the Lord is giving me mercy in this way. The Lord is just. Everything the Lord is doing is perfect. Why did He bring this here? What lesson can I learn from this? This is the angle of vision of a Sthitadir Muni. They're always fixed on the Lord. Why is the Lord doing this? Okay, what can I learn here? This is how we become humble. Some of the things that we need to learn in order to actually do the graduation teaching of Bhagavad Gita, we actually need to do the Shad Angas of Sharanagati, the 6 limbs of surrender. So the first 2 limbs, things that are favorable for you to practice bhakti, you should do those things. Things that are unfavorable for you to practice bhakti, you should not do those things. You should have 2 realizations. The Lord is your protector. At all times, the Lord is protecting you. If you know this, that the Lord is your well-wisher, He's your friend, He's not trying to beat you down in life, He's trying to help you. Do you know this? You should know this. This is reality. The Lord is not trying to hurt anybody. If something is not going how we want it in life, it's actually for our benefit. The Lord is helping us. He's protecting us and He's maintaining us. Have you ever not had enough? Anyone here ever die of hunger? In this lifetime?
Not this life.
No, you've had enough. You've had enough. You've always had enough. The Lord maintains you. He's always given you a situation where you've had enough. So this realization should be there. And last is this. Everything that the Lord does is perfect. Everything. Everything that's happened is perfect. You don't have to worry. Everything that's happening is perfect. Isn't that a relief? We try to make so many things happen, do we not? All right, well, if I just do this scheme, or if I just do like this, it's going to work out like this. And then it doesn't work out at all how we planned. And am I the only one who's doing like this? Yes. All right, I'm going to do like this, I'm going to do like this, and then, oh my God, I didn't see that one happen. Oh my gosh, this is a bigger problem than I realized. But everything is perfect. And if you actually realize these things, you will be humble. You will stay humble, which is necessary. To surrender unto the Lord, you have to be humble. But you can only be humble if you do all those things. Your whole life is set up, okay, what is favorable for my bhakti? So what's favorable for my bhakti? One, you have to know what bhakti is. So that means sambandha jnana has to be there. You know who you are. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, who are you? What is Krishna saying? First teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Stop lamenting, Arjuna. Why are you lamenting for these material bodies? Why? Why are you lamenting? What's the actual reality? You're a spirit soul. You can't die. Everything that you're worried about is just things of the body. So if you actually know that and you're a soul, and then the next graduation teaching to you're a soul is that you're connected to a greater scheme of souls here, and there's an oversoul, there's a supreme soul. This is God. You have a relationship with God. If you know that, okay, then you only act in ways that encourage that realization, encourage that knowledge. You only do things that stimulate that. Does that mean you stop going to work and just meditate? Does that sound like a good idea? I don't need to go to work anymore. I don't need to go to school. I'll just meditate. I'll just sit down in the forest. No, actually. That's not what's recommended. What's recommended is you do activities that allow you to increase your understanding of that relationship. Meaning, in order to come here and learn more about Krishna and His instructions and chant Krishna's names and do the activities of bhakti, guess what you have to do? You have to survive. You have to be alive. That means you have to pay your bills, That means you have to eat enough food. That means you have to drink enough water. All these things are favorable to bhakti. Yes, some sense gratification is there. But you shift. Instead of trying to enjoy the material world, you try and serve God. And guess what? Instead of being miserable, which is what everyone who's trying to enjoy is doing, they're not actually happy. That's why billionaires, they did a study on happiness. Do you know what income bracket is the most happy? Guys who live here, I say this too much, but people who are new. What income bracket is the most happy people in the whole world? They have scientific study. It's in the Netflix documentary, Happy. What income bracket do you think it is? None. No. You need it's not none. It's not the impoverished people. You need some basics for survival. They're not actually the happiest. Do you know who's the happiest? Not quite the middle class. Almost the middle class. What's that? The lower middle class. Those who have just enough to survive. They're happy. That's what's recommended. In Bhagavatam, that's what's recommended in Bhagavad Gita. The lower middle class are the happiest people in the world. Why? Because they have enough for their survival, and that's all they need. But people who are much more complex, they need more. I need more. And then they put all the kinds of plans, and they work harder, and this, that, and the other. Not happy. It's obvious why they're not happy. Because they're spending so much time grueling. But just whatever the Lord has provided, that's enough. Those people are the happiness. All across the world. Whether it's from the islands of Japan, in Africa, and wherever you are situated, when you just have your basic needs covered, this person's happy. Why? Because, and also to take that to the next level, this person who has all their basic necessities covered can practice bhakti. This person could actually understand who they are and actually focus on service to God, as opposed to trying to enjoy. If you try to enjoy, you won't. But if you try to serve God, He'll enjoy, everyone will enjoy. If the whole world tried to serve God, the whole world would be heaven on earth. It would be better than heaven. It would be amazing. But that's not the world. The whole world is everyone is trying to enjoy. I deserve to enjoy. The world is my playground, and I'm here to enjoy the whole thing. If you have this mentality, you will not enjoy. I see this in devotional service. I see lots of people come and do seva here at the temple, and some people really like to serve. And I notice, well, these people are really happy. Even I'm like, wow, I wish I could like to serve like these people. These people are so happy. But the tendency is we're born with, no, I should enjoy. No, if I enjoy, I'll be happier. But actually, it's proven not to be the case. In the studies scientifically, in the Vedas, Krishna himself telling, it's not the case. For those who serve God, they will be the happiest. And for those who try and be happy, they will not. Jesus has a similar teaching in the Bible. Those who exalt themselves, they'll be humbled, meaning they'll have a situation which will not make them happy, and they'll be humbled by the situation. And those who humble themselves, claim to be, I'm the servant, I'm here to serve God, they'll be exalted. They'll have glory in their life. So why are we not doing? We should ask ourselves this question. Why am I not working in my own self-interest here? Even if you're a very selfish person, like myself. If you get enough knowledge in your selfishness and you realize, it's in my best self-interest, if I serve God, then I will actually be happier. It'll make it easier for you. Because we start out in the selfish realm. And then when you're at some point where you don't even care about your own self anymore, you'll be the happiest. All the devotees of Bhagavatam are actually like this. So we'll talk about how to do this in the Bhagavatam. It gives some verses on what we should actually do, because it's not all so clear right now. All right, well, I am interested in being happy, but doing activities that are favorable to bhakti, I don't really know what activities are favorable to bhakti. We can talk about some of them. But let's finish this purport. So such a fully Krishna-conscious person is not at all disturbed by the onslaughts of the threefold miseries, for he accepts all miseries as the mercy of the Lord, thinking himself only worthy of more trouble due to his past misdeeds. What a juxtaposition as to what we think. And he sees that his miseries, by the grace of the Lord, are minimized to the lowest. Similarly, When he is happy, he gives credit to the Lord, thinking himself unworthy of the happiness. He realizes that it is due only to the Lord's grace that he is in such a comfortable condition and able to render better service to the Lord. And for the service of the Lord, he is always daring and active and is not influenced by attachment or aversion. Attachment means accepting things for one's own sense gratification, and detachment is the absence of such sensual attachment. But one fixed in Krishna consciousness has neither attachment nor detachment, because his life is dedicated in the service of the Lord. Consequently, he is not at all angry, even when his attempts are unsuccessful. A Krishna conscious person is always steady in his determination. So, the Bhagavad Gita is going to lead us to the conclusion that we should become conscious of Krishna. That's graduation. Right now, Prabhupada is getting us to the end conclusion, what Bhagavad Gita, what the whole thing's really about. But right now, we have to also start really where we're at. Because a lot of times we can think, I'm so advanced, I don't need these beginning level teachings. Let me just do the end level teachings. But actually, if you don't build the foundation to the house properly, what will happen as you build the house? It'll sink and then collapse. So your devotional life will sink and collapse if you don't focus on these foundational teachings. So what is it here? When a man gives up all varieties of sense desire, which arise from mental concoction. Okay, so what are some sense desires we have? We have to figure this out together here. What can we do? What are some popular sense desires that the world likes to do?
Taste nice things.
Taste nice things. Who here likes to go to who has a favorite restaurant? Yes. What's your favorite restaurant, Archit?
I have not explored much in Syracuse, by the way.
No, back home, India.
Oh, back home it's like a local coffee shop.
A local coffee shop.
Yes.
And what do you get at the coffee shop?
Some nice dosa and some nice filter coffee.
Okay, dosa and coffee, no problem. All right. So Krishna is saying this sense desire is actually arising from mental concoction to enjoy the senses, and the mind won't find satisfaction there. So how can the mind find satisfaction? Do you know? You have to eat, do you not? What do? What's the bhakti activity that you do to combat this? Okay, now even higher, even more impressive. Yes? But what's that? It's a limb of bhakti. What limb of bhakti is that a part of the 9 limbs? Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam, offering one's food in worship. When you guys just got here, that's what I was doing. I was offering the food. We're feeding you guys this prasadam, but you can see this food is not your sense gratification. This food is actually the Lord's mercy, the Lord's remnants, the mercy upon you. When you're coming here and you're eating with the devotees, when you're eating at the temple, when you're eating prasad, even at home when you prepare prasad and you offer it first to the Lord, this is actually the Lord's mercy. If you're able to eat with this meditation, actually the mind can find satisfaction because it's in the self. Who is the real self? It's not just you who you're identifying at. Who's the source of you? Who's the source of all? It's God. Oh, what is this verse? Krishna is saying, Mata parataram nanya, Mata parataram nanya kinchid. No, is it Sarvatmani? I'm forgetting. It's Kinchid Asti Dhananjay. You know what? I'll look up the verse. I know the verse. But I actually memorized this verse the other day. But the Lord, He says in Bhagavad Gita, I'm going to remember it as soon as I see it. Kinchid Asti Dhananjay. That's what I thought it was. Kinchid Asti Dhananjay Mayi Sarvamidam Protam Sutre Mani Gana Iva. So, Mata, from beyond myself, Parataram, there's a superior, Nanya, there's not anything superior. There's not another thing that's superior to me, Krishna is saying. Kinchid asti dhananjaya. Kinchid means there's something. Asti, there is. So there's not anything that is superior to me, Krishna is saying. Dhananjaya is, O conqueror of wealth, Arjuna. The devotee also becomes a conqueror of wealth. You have no problem with wealth. When one has conquered the mind, then you could also conquer the use of all of Krishna's resources. If you're having wealth problems, you have not yet become Dhananjaya. So the devotee has no problem. Anything that anyone else has to work very hard for, the devotee does not have to, actually. Tanmay, I've been missing you. So Mayi, so in me, Krishna is saying, hey, in your name, Gurjit, welcome. Mayi sarvam, all. Sarvam, yes, all that be. Idam protam, which we see. That is protang, is strung. Sutre, like a thread of a necklace. Manigana, like pearls. Eva's like pearls. Everything is strung upon me, like pearls are strung on a necklace. Like this whole world, you all see my tulsi beads. It looks very pretty. But if there was no thread holding it all together, they would be scattered everywhere and they wouldn't look so nice. Right? So this whole world that we see is being strung on the reality of God. And if we don't see the reality, if we don't understand the foundational reality of the Lord, we'll miss the whole point. And then instead everything will fall apart. But if we realize who is holding it all together and we engage in the fixed activity of serving, that personality, everything will be held together and you'll realize the perfection of everything. And you'll actually be happy in life's perfection, and you don't need this thing, that thing, and other thing for perfection. You actually just need the very simple things. The simple things in which you can serve God. Everything is simple. We serve God, we offer some incense, a lamp, some flowers. We offer prayer. We glorify the Lord. We have to pay the bills. We need enough money to pay the bills. Water bill, electric bill. I'm dealing with that now. So now I'm knowing what the bills are. The water bill, the electric bill, the mortgage bill, the food bills. All these bills, they have to be paid, no problem. But actually, the lower middle class can pay the bills. That's what makes one lower middle class. You can just pay the bills. Most Americans are actually getting to be lower middle class. So guess what? Most Americans have the opportunity to be the happiest. Americans was once a very wealthy country, which many miserable people were here, because with wealth comes misery, actually. It's not actually with wealth comes happiness. But actually, now the Americans are becoming lower middle class more and more and more. And now we have the opportunity to be happy. Why? Because we have the opportunity, we'll be humbled by life, and we'll actually, more and more in this country, there's a spiritual revolution happening. More people are coming to religion. It may not be the Vedic religion, but that's okay. More people are coming to God. They're realizing God more and more, ever than before. Ever since COVID-19 and all these things started happening in the world, more and more people are coming to God. In India it happened too. The temples were flooded after they opened up from the lockdowns again. More and more people than ever were going to the temples because they realized, oh my gosh, I was getting so caught up in this, and then just some problem happens, and next thing I know, I want to worship God. Don't wait until a problem comes. The intelligently situated, they'll worship God from the very onset, and they'll be way ahead of the person who waits till the problems come. Because that person won't realize reality. They'll waste so much time until problems come, and then they'll do something about it. But the intelligent person, they'll be fixed and they'll be doing bhajan the entire time. Prahlad, there's a huge misconception in India that no. In the beginning of life, life is for working, having family, doing all these things. In the end of life, you can do bhakti. Who's heard this before? This is the prevailing thing, right? I've heard this from so many adult Indians. They don't know that well Prahlad's teachings, where he tells this is the philosophy of the Daityas, or the demonic boys. They told Prahlad, no, we don't need to do bhakti now, or we can do it later, when we're older in life. You've heard this before? But this has been told from time immemorial. The Daityas have been saying like this. But actually this is not the truth. Why? Because in old age, we barely have any energy left to do the actual bhajan. In the beginning of life, in childhood, it says a child doesn't really have any good sense until about 10 years of age. So the first 10 years of life, not good for doing bhakti. You can barely really grasp anything. You need the parents there instilling the values until they're at least after 10 years of age. Or the child will get lost into the environment. So the parents have to work hard. So the first 10 years are practically wasted. The last 20 years, you have no energy left to do the things. That's 30 years wasted. 50 years of the life is practically wasted sleeping. We sleep so many hours a day. And then the other time of life, we have to work so hard. And we have to spend so much time working to maintain ourselves. We spend so much time doing just basic maintenance. You can't wait till old age to start. You'll barely make any progress if you wait till the old age. So Prahlad told the boys this. And he made them realize, oh no, this is not a good philosophy. Why? Because it comes with, oh, I'll enjoy now and then I'll do spiritual stuff later. But then even worse, when you spend your whole life enjoying, you get enwrapped in so many things. So many family members, so many work, so many houses, so many properties, and you can't leave them very easily and do bhajan. So as soon as you find out about the spiritual purpose of life, you should act immediately. That is actually the conclusion. As soon as you find out. Prahlad says from the age of 5, we're 5 years old, we should do it from right now. But if you wait till you're older, you will miss out on what could actually be. But Krishna is saying here, immediately give up all varieties of sense desire, which are arising from mental concoction, and the mind should find satisfaction in the self alone. So one, if you actually even yourself, just try to be self-satisfied, that's one level. But then when you realize the source of oneself, that's God, then you say, oh, whatever is connected to God, I will do that thing. And this is actually bhakti, the bhakti process. And he says next, if one who's not disturbed in spite of the threefold miseries, not elated when there's happiness. So when good fortune comes in your life, the person who's like, yeah, woohoo, they're cheering and like this, you know what's going to happen to that person when a misery comes? Because it's inevitable. A misery will come. Oh, woe is me, boo-hoo. They're crying, all these things. But the person who says, okay, this is a kind of miserable situation, that's fine. The Lord has arranged it. Okay, oh, this is a happy situation. The Lord has arranged it. No problem. They're not having any deep attachments. They're not having fear of losing anything. They're trusting the Lord. Whatever the Lord provides, this is perfect. And they're not angry when things don't go their way. The Lord is doing everything. It's perfect. No problem. That could be called the sage of steady mind. So please, we humbly request you, consider the path of being a sage. The Bhagavad Gita is telling, what is this path? It's bhakti. So I'll just share 2 verses from the Bhagavatam on how to practice bhakti. And it's in the first canto, 2nd chapter, verses 9 and 10. And I'll just read the English just so you know, and so I know I've been speaking a long time. And you probably want to do more activities of bhakti besides just hearing. So, his mouth expresses happiness. Oh, did I do the right chapter? What chapter did I do here? 1, chapter 2. Oh no, it's 3, I think. Yes, 3. Okay. No, that's not what I want either. But you know what? This one is good. I think it was 1, 2, 9, and 10. I have to visit them again. But a person who has broader intelligence whether he be full of all material desire, without any material desire, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme Whole, the personality of Godhead. No matter what you do, the person who has the most intelligence or fixed intelligence, they will worship God. No matter whether you have all kinds of material desires or no material desires, whether you just want to be free from suffering from this world, no matter what it is that you want, just worship the Lord. This is what a person who has broader intelligence will do. So just do that one thing. This is mentioned in Bhagavatam, which is the main teaching Krishna has come to give in this world. I don't know how I got confused. I thought it was 9 and 10, but it's not what I thought it was.
You are in chapter 3.
This one is 2. But I don't know. Anyway, that's all. Just worship the Lord. You'll be much happier this way. Are there any questions? No question? No one wants to know, well, how do I worship the Lord?
How do you worship the Lord?
Wow, good question. What did I say in the beginning? What are the 3 main processes of bhakti to do? So first you have to come and hear about the Lord. If you don't know anything about the Lord, and it's not just reading about the Lord, because you don't exactly know, it's good, reading is good, reading Shastra is very good. But the Shastra was always called Shruti. Shruti means that which is heard. So you actually have to hear about the Lord first. Reading is excellent. But if it's not accompanied with Shruti or hearing, it's incomplete. Nowadays, we have the opportunity to hear with the help of technology. That's not enough actually, because the Shabda Brahma is actually coming live. The Lord designed it that when you are in person and actually paying attention, a lot of times we come to hear, and then next thing we know, well, the phone is buzzing. And then I'm seeing a couple of the phones. You know, people nowadays can't really focus because phones are present, like this. But actually, the easiest thing you can do is come and hear about someone who has some bhakti. So ideally, it's someone very experienced in bhakti. Here, we have the devotees here. That's your best. Bet. So is come and hear about bhakti. Then next, you share what you've heard. So once you've heard something, then you share with like a friend or two. Oh, I've heard this really nice thing here. Hey, you should come here, like Tanmay did with his friend. Guruji, right? He said, Guruji, come on. They got a bunch of good food. I heard they have really good food here. They do some chanting. They talk about Bhagavad Gita, and they try to have us be better people. And then Guruji can come and he can make an advancement. And then Tanmay, when he shares what he's heard, he'll be more convinced. He's like, yeah, that food was really good. And then he'll go and he'll eat that food again, no problem. Or, maybe they're sharing, wow, I actually, by hearing the teachings of Krishna, my life has definitely improved. By being fixed on God, I have a lot more peace in my heart. I'm not trying to, enjoy this world so much and suffering because it never works out how I want it to. That's an even higher thing. So the first thing, come and hear. Come and hear about the Lord. That's the most important thing. Practice bhakti. And then 2, there's other processes. If you don't do any hearing, the other processes will practically be non-existent. Because unless you hear on how to practice bhakti, your own mental concoction, or I'll perform archanam like this, or I'll compose a prayer like this, it won't be informed with realization. So it'll be practically empty. So you need to come and first hear about the Lord. Then you'll know you'll know what to share, that which you've heard from one of the Lord's pure representatives. You'll know what to share. You'll begin sharing that thing. And then you'll begin remembering. When you start sharing with others, you'll actually start remembering these things. Like I won't forget that verse again that I shared with you guys because I started sharing it. But the problem is I didn't share it yet. So when I don't share it, I forget the verse. So when you share, you remember. And when you remember, then next thing you know, you can start doing archanam, you can start doing puja and worship. Vandanam, you can start composing prayers. You can recite the prayers of other devotees like Prahlad Maharaj and so on. You'll know how to do dasyam, how to actually be a servant of the Lord. What is the art of devotional service that are detailed in the scriptures from the things you've heard. You'll know how to actually have friendship with the Lord. You'll feel the friendship with the Lord in your life. When the realization of the Lord comes, you'll actually feel deep friendship. And then at some point, Atmanivedam, you'll know how to actually surrender one's life unto the Lord. But without hearing, it's all incomplete. If you don't take time to first hear about the Lord, you won't know how to do any of these processes. So this is why we worship the Guru in the beginning of the program. Because without a Guru who is deeply connected to the Lord and who's heard from his Guru who is deeply connected to the Lord. Like the Lord came and gave Bhagavad Gita because he said that the teaching had become lost. So when the teaching was lost, that means there's no more Guru. So the Lord came himself to be the Guru for Arjuna. And then Arjuna and all that heard, and we are fortunate, now we can be benefited because the Lord reestablished being a Guru. And it's the Gurus that are passing this knowledge down. And when there's no more Guru left in the world, then the Lord will have to come again and give the teaching. But because there is still proper Gurus in the world, we can seek such a Guru and we can hear from them. So when you find such a Guru, and it could be, there's many different varieties of Guru. There's even Vartma Pradarshika Guru, like even all the devotees here, we have realized a higher conclusion. That service to God is better than not doing service to God. So we tell all the people not so engaged in doing service to God, please come here. We've heard so much wonderful things about service to God. Please come and learn more about doing service to God. And then people can come and practice some services to God that are given by the pure representatives. That's Vartma Pradarshika. They just show the path. They're showing the path. But then there's the Shiksha Guru, the empowered Guru who knows the instructions of Krishna. They know the instructions of their Guru who is very intimately connected to Krishna, and they're sharing that with others. You should hear from them. That's the number one you should hear from. And such a person, if they're very, very potent, and you realize the potency of this person, then you can actually take Diksha from them. The Diksha Guru. This is the meaning of Diksha. Diksha is a formal ceremony, but actually real Diksha is of the heart. When you've accepted and surrendered unto such a person, that is Diksha. So that happens only when you find a bona fide Guru. And you will only find a bona fide Guru when you actively pray from the heart, Lord, this is what I want. When you actually desire such a thing, then you have received mercy. Because you're rightly situated. You want the thing that's very best for you. But if you want so many other things out of life, and Guru is just an accessory and maybe they can help you get it, and Krishna is saying here, until you give up all these things and find satisfaction in the self alone, ultimately in God, and the Guru is the representation of how to fix oneself in the self. The Guru is the living representative who's going to show you how to turn in and recognize the self. Until that happens, you'll always be in inauspicious flux in this world. Ups and downs and miseries and attachment, fear, all those things, and anger are always going to be present. Until you've found someone who can help you transcend those things, you'll never do it alone. So you have to find a sage of steady mind. And by that sage of steady mind, they can help you. But until you humble yourself and realize you need help, then there's no hope actually. Only a humble person, as Jesus says, can be exalted. Someone who thinks they're already so great, they don't need Guru, I have everything I need, I just have the internet, I have Google. Yeah, I have ChatGPT. The Vedas, I'll know everything I need to know about the Vedas through ChatGPT or Google. That person will take a long time. Eventually they'll reach Krishna. Somehow or other, Krishna will send the right person to them eventually. But it'll take a very long time. But someone who's actively seeking Guru, they can make advancement very quickly. Because they'll know where to find a Guru, and then they'll find some type of Guru, at least a Vartma Pradarshika Guru, who can help show the way. We invite so many Gurus here, bona fide Gurus here throughout the year. We send so many text messages out. We say, please come, please come. Some people are come for the dosas. We've had the dosa cart come before. You know this local dosa What are they? What's that? Yeah, maniltas. Yes, so they come and and we invite everyone, and then everyone comes for the dosa day because most people they like the sensuous. The dosas are good, but ultimately, what makes the dosas good is they offered them to the Lord, and it was actually the Lord's prasad. And they came and actually got to hear about the Lord. That was the great gift that the dosas brought them that day. So, in conclusion, come and hear about the Lord. That's the number one thing you should try and do in your life. Study the Lord's scriptures. This is very important. Make positive endeavors. Be fixed. Once you've heard enough, become fixed in what you've heard and live your life accordingly. Right now, we've only talked about very little things. There's not much you could be fixed on. You could go, oh, okay, I have to be a sage of steady mind. I have to control my senses. But unless you keep hearing more about the Lord, it will be incomplete. So you have to keep deepening the process. So keep coming. We actually have programs every day. Every day we have opportunities. We study Bhagavatam every day. We do all of our processes of bhakti here every day. We have prasad for the devotees here every day. Everyone's welcome literally every day. But, life is busy. We understand that Sunday is probably the best day for most people. But please, today's class is find those who are closer to the sages of steady mind and see what you can learn from them. And ultimately, we've invited already like 4 or 5 more incredible personalities here this year, who many of our congregation have actually taken diksha or commitments to take diksha from them because of their potency. So, if you want the possibility of meeting such a personality, that's a good desire. That's the best desire. You should desire to hear from exalted personalities. And here at the ashram, whether it's me or whether it's Madhav or Parth or Ben or Mukunda or any of the devotees here, we can actually act as Vartma Pradarshika gurus for people, where we could just say, hey, come, this is a really good thing. Come check this out. We have a program about this. We read this scripture. We meet these sages, these incredible people who are connected to God so deeply, and they can help us be connected to God. We should come and hear from them. That's the number one activity. And then ultimately, once you've heard the reality of God, you should share the glories of God. The easiest way and the best thing to do is just simply call out God's name. Realize this is the real essence of life. God is the thread that is sustaining everything. For those who serve God, they're like the wise person who waters the root of a tree instead of trying to water all the individual branches and twigs and leaves. The root nourishes the whole. So when you offer your service, your activity, your love towards God, everything in life will be nourished. All realms of life. So anyway, I'll end here. No more questions. Thank you for the question, Mukunda. May we do 2 activities, and then we'll end at 1:30. The first activity is we can... this movie, it's a wonderful movie, but we also have the deity of Nrsimha here. And Nrsimha, he is actually the incarnation of Vishnu, which helps purify anarthas. Do you know what anarthas are? Artha is wealth. Everyone's looking for artha, right? But we have many anarthas, are unwealthy or unvaluable things in our life that are blocking us from taking to devotion. So he's actually the number one chief anartha is atheism, not even having the realization or belief in God. But there's so many attachments and fear and anger and things like that are anarthas to our bhakti. But when we pray to Nrsimha, he is the very powerful incarnation of the Lord who can come and rip those anarthas to shreds. So may we do a prayer to him, a bhajan? Is that nice? Can we do? And then we can do the final thing. We'll let everyone stand up after. Well, we'll stand up, we'll gaze upon the deities again, and we'll just chant the Maha Mantra to finish. So, let me see here. Madhav, is it